All right, so here's your tail to tape. Dan Hooker, 27 years old. Marc Diakiese will be 25 in March. Hooker 2 inches taller. Both men weighing in at 155 and 1/2 pounds. Dan Hooker, long man, he will have the 2-inch reach advantage. All right, now for the official introductions, back inside to Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a freestyle fighter holding a professional record, 12 wins, 1 loss. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 155 and 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Doncaster, England, by way of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Marc Bone Crusher Diakiese. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 15 wins, 7 losses. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 155 and 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Auckland, New Zealand, Dan the Hangman Hooker. When the action begins, our referee in charge, Herb Team.
Dan Hooker's bounced around a lot for his training. Vietnam, Thailand, actually got married in Thailand. Trained at Elevation Fight Team in Colorado for a while, but this entire fight camp in New Zealand trying to put everything he's learned into action tonight. Tonight's Fight Clock is brought to you by AirAsia. Now everyone can fly. Diakiese in red, Dan Hooker in black.
Interesting, both guys staying on the outside here.
The biggest thing for both these guys in the beginning is going to be they're going to try to read each other's speed. That has to be done first. And then that helps with the range from there.
Hooker can be a little bit plodding at times. Diakiese would figure to have the speed advantage.
Distance and range of Hooker can help deal with the speed of Diakiese. If Hooker can control the range, he can kind of slow down Diakiese by making him reach far. If you can get Diakiese to reach, you can open him up. Fakes and feints would help Hooker, more than anything. That'll pull out all the crazy techniques of Diakiese early before he gets to throw. Those fakes like that, getting Diakiese to bite whenever he fakes something is key.
Diakiese likes to talk trash, likes to try to get in the head of his opponents and sort of turn them into rivals. Hooker wasn't having it this week.
And that's the fakes I'm talking about. Hooker faked coming in, and he got to pull out the spin kick of Diakiese. If he can keep doing that, it'll really cause problems for Diakiese's timing and range. The fakes do that.
It's crazy looking at Hooker to think that he made 145 pounds.
I know it.
This is a big 55. He's doing a good job right now of avoiding the crazy stuff, but neither guy has really established his offense yet.
Think about it, the best thing he could do to Diakiese is try to make it a slow fight, because the one thing he hates is a slow fight. He doesn't like being boring. He wants the finish, and he might force it if you create it, turn it into something slow. You can't just run in on either of these guys recklessly. You got to be careful.
Yeah, Diakiese's doing a good job avoiding that side kick. He avoided those punches. He seems prepared for the blitz.
Two fights ago, Diakiese turned in the 7th fastest knockout in UFC lightweight history, 30 seconds.
Yeah, there Diakiese goes with that spin, and Hooker did a great job of catching the foot. Yeah, Hooker seems very prepared for the speed. The speed and the wild stuff.
His 23rd pro fight for Hooker tonight. He lands there.
Nice jab.
That jab is what he thinks is the key to beating Diakiese. Once he starts touching the jab, he says, once I start hitting him with the jab, then I know I can start picking up my offense. But until then, I don't know how hard it's going to be to jab him. And he landed his first one there. Let's see what he does with it from here.
And he's doing a really good job avoiding these leg kicks too, just sliding just out of the way. And now Diakiese's starting to look wild.
Well, similar to Condit, Diakiese closes the distance with the kick. So he kicks you. Once he touches you with the kick, then he knows he can try any kind of spin technique or kick technique he wants after that. And so Hooker is checking the kick, countering the kick, or not biting on the kick right off the bat, and that takes away the second reaction of Diakiese.
And there is a good switch and a kick by Diakiese.
That kick sets up the spins for Diakiese because it turns his body without Hooker knowing. That's why he throws that leap kick. It hides the spin.
Good takedown defense by Hooker, good balance.
Leg kick has been there for Diakiese on half of his attempts. 45 seconds now here in round 1.
Hooker being very patient, smart. Got to be patient, keep the pressure. To keep the pressure and the fakes, he forced Diakiese to make reckless moves, and that's what we're seeing here. He's just being patient.
Hooker deep in on this takedown, he gets it.
So an important takedown potentially for Dan Hooker at the end of the first 5 minutes here. Diakiese back to his feet.
The meatheads boo.
Marc,
It's an interesting round.
Tonight's corner cam brought to you by Air Asia. Now everyone can
Come on,
fly.
breathe. Yes, I want you to relax. Calm yourself down so we can talk. I want you to just yes. Listen. You ready to fight? Huh? You ready to fight? No. So calm yourself down. Breathe again. I want a deep one. Yes.
If you can't just kick the baseline, okay?
Low calf kicks there as well. Anytime behind the fence. Anything behind the fence. Maybe the double jab as well.
Yeah, just straight up, okay? You wanna double jab.
Yep.
The feints are working, the looks are working.
The distance is on, Dan. The distance is on.
Brittany Palmer here. Ariana Celeste, Brooklyn Wren. Glad you are too as we close out the year on pay-per-view UFC 219. Dan Hooker and Marc Diakiese. Still to come, of course, Khabib Nurmagomedov, Edson Barboza in the co-main event, and our UFC Women's Featherweight title fight between Chris Cyborg and Holly Holm. All right, second round here. Dan Hooker is in black, Marc Diakiese out of the southpaw stance in red.
The fakes are what are winning this fight for Hooker so far because he's pulling out Diakiese's strikes.
That was a nice leg kick though off the catch by Diakiese.
And this is what Diakiese needs to do. He just needs to be first, get in the pocket and start creating some options because right now he's using the same tools trying to set up something fancy instead of just using fundamentals to get started.
Ooh, big left hook. Stepped in with it.
It was an overhand right. He switched stance and stepped in. That's what's so tricky about Diakiese is he switches stance and switches his strikes depending on his stance.
Head out to your neighborhood 7-Eleven to get a UFC branded Big Gulp for a chance to instantly win prizes.
There it is again. Stepping in with that left hand.
See the muscle Hooker's been able to add to that frame now that he has put featherweight in the rearview mirror with finality. Short shot lands for Diakiese.
Ooh, left hand he's timing it well. And Hooker knew it was coming, but he wasn't expecting it from southpaw. He's expecting the right hand. So Diakiese switched stance and making the read on Hooker.
Yeah, Diakiese's made some good adjustments in this round.
Right now he got clipped and that made him uncomfortable. I promise you that. Hooker hitting him with that does not like. You see the striking happen whenever Diakiese gets uncomfortable with the range and the feints and the pressure. When that happens, he forces a takedown. And that's when we see these positions here.
Good head control here by Hooker.
And this is the underhook battle. Right now Hooker controls the underhook and the head position so he controls the fence.
Diakiese, good job turning it around.
He had to get the underhook to get out of there.
I think you should name your next dog Underhook. I think.
Seriously, I wish these guys just met my dog Underhook then.
Under 3 minutes here to go, round 2. How much do you hear that crowd, Dom, when you're in there booing?
I mean, just, you hear everything really, but it's just a question of if you're going to let it get to you or not, really.
Nice low calf kick by Diakiese, and he hits it twice.
It's funny because Hooker said that Diakiese was going to try that since he lost his last fight with it in his eyes.
Yeah, and he landed it 3 times in a row. Yeah. It's interesting that he waited here to do it. There's a nice knee to the body by Diakiese. Diakiese getting off much more in this round. Oh, right hand by Hooker. He moves in for the takedown. He gets it.
And those are fundamentals by Hooker. Keeping it basic.
And Diakiese's carrying Hooker's weight here, but Hooker almost goes over the top. Good balance there by Hooker. Gets that left hook in.
Diakiese uses so much energy here.
Yeah, he's very much muscling it. And looking to explode, but he's allowing Hooker to get full back control with a triangle. He's got the body triangle on him. This is not good. He's tired. He's taking some big, heavy, deep breaths. Dan Hooker could get off some damage right now.
Diakiese has never been finished in his 13-fight pro career.
But Diakiese's got Hooker's legs on the right side. He just needs to dig his left leg underneath the heel of Hooker. The leg of Hooker that's on the floor, Diakiese needs to get his left leg underneath it and try to get that zip tie off his belly. He's got the feet on the right side at least. But
yeah, he's getting the feet on the right side because he's putting pressure on the right ankle of Hooker. Now he's trying to attack the leg with his heel.
What do you think about going under it?
I think he's doing that because Herb Dean's wanting him to work despite the fact that he's got Diakiese's body weight.
Well,
I could be wrong.
Diakiese's trying to attack the calf and stomp on the foot there, but
that's where you need the basics.
Yeah, it's not going to get him out of that position. He's being creative, but it's not enough. But for Hooker, he's not getting anything off either. His hands are tied up.
He's got his back burning the clock and going to finish the round. I mean, he's not trying to finish necessarily, but I mean,
I'd like to see him
not doing anything right to get out of it either, is he?
No, he's not. He's not doing anything correctly. I'd like to see him switch the body triangle.
There it was. That was a good move.
No, that was better. Yeah, now he's got some space with the foot off the ground on the side where the body triangle is locked. Now he's got all that pressure on his leg, and he tried to switch it up. Beautiful job by Diakiese of immediately recognizing there was that space and spinning.
All right, 10 minutes in the books. We will go into the red corner of the Kiwi Dan Hooker.
Where's the chair? Chair. You have to get out, Marc. You have to come out.
There's a water that's in your hand. Take it from there.
Forward. You gotta back him up or stay in the pocket. Don't let him back you up. Yeah. You gotta
Listen
do
to me.
that.
I don't want to him to take downs on me. I don't want to take downs on you. Okay? I want you to be moving and I want you to do it. 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
The unauthorized reproduction or distribution of this copyright work is illegal and punishable under law. UFC 219, Cyborg versus Holm, Marc Diakiese and Dan Hooker now with 5 minutes or fewer to decide this one.
Let's fight.
Whoa,
Good pressure.
Now. Here we go.
And this is what Diakiese needed to do. Early, be first.
They're both attacking that low calf kick. Diakiese with a big right hand over the top, and Hooker trying to time that knee.
And the knees work on the pressure of Diakiese. Good read by Hooker. Uppercuts and knees, but he needs combinations.
Left hook by Diakiese. The speed of Diakiese is very apparent when they get these slugs.
because Hooker's throwing one strike at a time, he needs combinations. Good guillotine, that's in, that's in, that's in.
Look at that, he's
There's the
tapping,
tap.
he's tapping.
Dan Hooker submits Marc Diakiese.
Wow, very nice.
Oh. And
Congratulations.
And how about Joe Rogan? You need some hand sanitizer. Throwing the mouthpiece back to Dan Hooker. He came over to the broadcast table and says, "How do you like me now?"
I'm sure he doesn't want to lose it.
So Dan Hooker, a perfect 2-0 start to his UFC lightweight career and a big win tonight as he becomes the first man to finish Marc Diakiese. This fight replay is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
It's interesting because in that round, everything really opened up. They were really going after it. It was becoming a slugfest. But look, as soon as Dan gets that left arm under the chin, boy, he goes into that power guillotine, and Diakiese's tapping immediately. And that forearm is right across the throat.
And Diakiese's corner said, no more takedowns out of you. And right, he shot a takedown and he forced it and he reached. And that's the key. When you get Diakiese to reach, you get openings. And the opening was the guillotine this time.
Oh,
he
man.
forced the takedown, the neck went right out there. Nothing was tucked. Hooker went to the full mount position, but because the guillotine was so tight, it made it even tighter. Beautiful transition to lock in that guillotine by Hooker.
And that is a nasty guillotine, too. That's the same way John Jones did it to Lyoto Machida. He pushed down the palm. Oof.
You know who we saw do that at first was the Alaskan. Oh, man.
The official decision brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 42 seconds of round number 3, declaring the winner by submission due to a guillotine choke, Dan the Hangman Hooker.
I'm here with the winner, Dan Hooker. First of all, Dan, congratulations on an excellent victory over a very dangerous guy. There was a lot of touch and go early in the fight. What do you want to say?
First things first, Sean, Dana, UFC Perth is in 6 weeks, and I won on that card. Who wants to see me fight again on that card, huh? Let's go.
You're immediately looking to get back into action, but this fight was interesting because Diakiese's very dangerous. You used your reach well, and the opportunity that presented itself in the 3rd round when you were having the wild exchange, you locked up a beautiful guillotine.
Yeah, well, I won the first, won the second, and finished them in the 3rd. I don't think there's any more you can do, you know.
Let's take a look at this guillotine. He shoots in, and as he shot in, you immediately slid that forearm underneath the chin. Talk us through this here.
That's just one of my chokes, man. I've got a few wins with that. That's my 2nd in the UFC with that choke. You gotta watch your neck around me.
We definitely do. Dan, congratulations on an excellent performance. Dan Hooker, ladies and gentlemen.